Hello everyone and welcome at last. I know it's taken me so long to get to this point, but welcome guys to the first episode of our Planet Zoo playthrough. I've been having so much fun just playing this game by myself that I think the series is just gonna have to be maybe like daily updates and press releases and things like that. I'm still learning the ropes. There are a lot of things in this zoo that I already really want to update. Like some of this entrance stuff is just like a little bit messy and I kind of want to tidy it up and make it look a bit more good, nicer. Add a few little bits here and there just to make it look a little bit more attractive and appealing. So this is a Wild Kingdom. This is the first zoo in the franchise that I'll be playing in. The franchise is called Action for the Wild, so it's essentially meant to be like a charity. And the idea is that this is kind of the main zoo. This is the main thing that brings in money. And all the other little things are like side projects. So the other thing that we have other than Wild Kingdom is the Eden Project. I forgot that was a thing that already existed with that name, but I like the name so I kept it. And the Eden Project is like a little nature reserve or I say nature reserve, more like a little conservation center, which is based in Central Africa. The idea being at the moment, all it has is gorillas to work towards the community challenge that's running at the moment, which is to release gorillas into the wild. So they have a little breeding program going on there for gorillas, and that's pretty much all that it is. So the idea is that whenever we have community challenges, they'll be completed at one of those like satellite projects. So African animals will be based in the Eden Project. And if we have something like tigers again, maybe I'll go to the Eden Project, I'm not sure, or maybe I'll start like a new thing. So the idea being all the community projects kind of end up going into a little satellite area. So then it kind of seems like this Wild Kingdom is a zoo that's just raising funds for conservation. I think that's a fun way of doing it. So unfortunately no one is staffing this information center, which is fine. But yeah, so let's go for a little quick tour of the zoo. I'll tell you which things are going to change very soon as well. If I have time in this video after the tour, I'll maybe get started on some of those things. So we just have a little entrance area here. There we go, someone's finally hopping into the shops. So here's a little breakfast place. The breakfast place does not have a name. If you have any suggestions for a breakfast place in a zoo, please let me know. I really would like to give it like a fun pun name, but I just couldn't think of one. And then over here we have like the little gift shop, so where you would go to buy gifts on the way out. Not that I see very many people buying things from them, but people definitely do. I did see some people wandering around with hats outside here at some point, but I do see people wandering around with gifts on occasion, and I need to do something about this absolute mess of traffic that gets kind of stuck on these pathways. The idea was for this to end up being like a kind of garden, so this would be like a little entrance garden. There'd be statues and dioramas and things, and then you wander into the main zoo. So there are still some things I want to change over here, a couple of vandalized things I need to replace. I want to cover up these donation boxes with something so I can have a few more in the viewing areas to get a few more donations for these animals. I want to make these education signs a bit better, maybe a bit front, have them slanted so they look like they're an interactive board, something like that. But in here we have our red ruffed lemurs. This is their little indoor area. This is where we usually see quite a few. Here they are, red ruffed lemurs. This was the first animal that we have, so this is the most successful breeding program going on at the zoo. We've had many ruffed lemurs over the course of the years. Many with gold star genetic rankings as well. I've been trying really hard to keep the genetic diversity strong, introducing new animals every now and then with every generation, and this is just a little, this needs updating as well. So many things have been vandalized. I need more security cameras as well. They seem to be getting away with naughty things in here. So here's a little view of the indoor for the ring-tailed lemurs. So that is one-way glass there, so when the lemurs come in here, usually at nighttime or when it's cold, they come in here. And then this is the outdoor area for the ring-tailed lemurs. This is something I would maybe like to update at some point. They seem a bit big, like the enclosures seem quite large. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but for like the beginning of a zoo, I don't know. Maybe the interiors just need a bit of updating. They were the first enclosures I built in this game. We also have this little Gulpy ice cream and a slush stop place, so you can also get some Cosmic Cow ice cream here. So this is one of the snack places. I need to add a few more snack places. People are always seeming to be hungry. So I'm thinking of renaming this to the Congo area because there is another animal when we come through here. But this is the kind of chimp pavilion. So I would like to put some kind of frames on these educational signs here. But these little conservation signs will tell you all about the threats that are impacting the Congo rainforest. And then you come into this nice pavilion here. And this is the indoor chimp area. There we go, so if we peek in, you can see quite nicely here. So just one of, you know, your bog standard kind of, you've got your metal grates that are meant to separate the keeper from the animals, but obviously in this game the keepers do actually need to come into the exhibit and come into contact with the animals, so there is gaps. But it's meant to kind of look like that kind of utility. That's where the keepers would like throw food in or do health checks on the animals kind of thing. This was the Goliath beetle enclosure, but they kind of periodically go through die-offs. I need to pay a bit more attention to them, but because they die in such a short space of time, their lifespan is only 2 years. I am constantly on the lookout for these guys and what's going on with them. Same as here, we have the Goliath frog in here, which I can't see at the moment. People don't seem very interested in the enclosure, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's not an animal in here. Not that I can see one, maybe there isn't. And then we have our giant tiger land snails, which we can see quite easily. There's one there. There's a couple down here. There's 2, 3 there. There's another one there, 4. It's probably way more than that. There's probably loads in there. I'm actually always having problems. Someone's playing the keyboard. Very, very musical over there. So that's that area there. So that's this little pavilion. And then we come into the outdoor area, which is basically themed like a tropical rainforest. Of course, based on the Congo. It's very busy here. But this is the outdoor viewing for our chimpanzees. So we've got a nice custom climbing frame there, made with a lot of vines, some hammocks in there, a lot of rope. Just kind of all different levels and all different things they can do and all different enrichments for them to eat from and play with. And then on the other side we have the Hippo Cove, which is meant to be a kind of secretive little thing. I don't know what those protesters are after. Probably the snails. The snails always seem to be having problems. So it looks to me like the hippos must be outside. So let's see if we can... And here's another view of the chimpanzee enclosure, obviously. Not that people actually look through the viewing areas, they just kind of look wherever, but you know how it is. Not that I'm still seeing a hippo at the moment. So there is 2 sides to this. This is the side that's kind of mostly where they just hang out to go swimming, and this is meant to be kind of sort of off show, but you can kind of see them. It's meant to be just like a little bit more private. There we go. There's a pygmy hippo. We do have 2. Not that I can see the other one. It's possible that it's hanging out in the water. Yep, there it is. There's the other pygmy hippo, and I think she's pregnant as well, so hopefully we'll have a baby hippos at some point. So yes, the purpose of this is that it is not easy to look into. It's meant to be like a... Because they're quite a shy animal, it's meant to be an area where they can kind of go if they want a bit of peace, but people can still kind of see them if they're hanging out in there. And then finally, our final enclosure. Oh, it's actually these people are happy about? That's very strange. So this is the Japanese macaque enclosure. So this is the beginning of the kind of East Asian themed area. And someone's broken the music player, of course. So I'll see what's wrong with these guys in a minute. So these are the Japanese macaques. As you can kind of tell, I've focused quite heavily on primates so far. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these guys. I can't see them. So let's see what's wrong with them. Animal has escaped. Diseased animal. I mean, their welfare seems fine. It's just that there's one with a disease. But these are our Japanese macaques. This is one of my favorite enclosures so far, I think. Just because it has all those different levels and the much heavier theming than the other one. But I do want to go back into the little rainforest area and add a bit more of that African theme to it. I kind of feel like it's a bit plain at the moment. It's not very well decorated. It's just kind of like a shell of a building. Which, you know, we can have a look at some other time. And I also obviously want to work on the staff areas a bit more. The staff areas are kind of cobbled in at the moment. There are a couple that are quite nice. Like, for example, if let's change my camera. I just can't play with the default camera on. For example, if you peek in here, there is actually a little kitchen there which is specifically for the chimpanzee enclosure. Not that this keeper is necessarily preparing anything for the keepers. Who knows, maybe not. And I would like to do some nice interiors, but there's not a lot of decorations for interiors, unfortunately, so yeah, he's not actually going to feed the chimps, he's going to feed something else. Who knows what? Probably the... There's master training, he's definitely a primate keeper. Maybe he's going to the macaques exhibit? I don't know. I'm not sure. Either way, so yeah, my staff area is a bit of a mess. In all honesty. Why is my camera going so slowly? Come on. Come on camera. Oh, there we go. Camera's going. Yeah, so this is a bit messy at the moment. I would really like to tidy this up a whole lot more. But I've kind of divided my keepers into sections. This is why I have such a heavy primate focus, because this is like the primate office. So this is where all the keepers that deal with primates will come and have their staff room. They've got a major kitchen for food prep in here. I don't know how many keepers actually fit in here. I think it's... Is it 2? Or it looks like there's 4 stations for making food, maybe more. I don't know if it necessarily says anywhere. And what's Habitat 12? Is Habitat 12... Yeah, Habitat 12 is the macaque. So I'm going to quickly rename that Japanese macaques so I can keep track of that. So I kind of want to build a rainforest restaurant just over here. That's kind of my plan for finishing off this little Congo area. The reason why I wanted to make it into like just a little Congo area, so like this is the little rainforest bit. And I really do wish we had custom billboards, because I'd love to have billboards all about the gorilla project that they have going on at their like sister park over in Central Africa, which I'll maybe look at in another video. Alright, I see what's going wrong over here. What animal are they specifically protesting? This animal here, Shigiko, is she the one that's diseased? Space, okay, there's not enough space. Oh, she's like somehow got stuck up there? Okay. That's easily solved. Get him back down here. Oh, shit, solve that problem. Yep, that's solved that problem. There's too much long grass. I don't know how that's happened, but I don't think it's really impacting their welfare at all, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. The Japanese macaques are one of our other really successful kind of breeding projects. And we have quite a few of these guys here, and I'm always seeing babies. Hello! Oh dear, I need to cough. My throat is still so sore. I know it's really bad. It's been like 2 months and my throat is still sore. But you know, we deal. So a lot of the building, like I said, is probably gonna happen between me uploading things, so oh dear. Sorry, So I do need to keep better track of the breeding program, so I'm hoping that maybe doing press releases like this will really help with that. Keeping track of the animals a bit better, so every time I update you guys, we can talk about what's happened in the zoo since the last time I made a video, what's going on with all the projects, things like that. So there is definitely a lot we can talk about. We can talk about new building works, we can talk about new animals, we can talk about all kinds of things. Right, is there any other problems? Wow, where'd my throat just... I was fine, where'd my throat just die? Alright, let's call a mechanic over, and I really want to build some nicer electricity and water filtration systems. I'd also really like to make a renewable energy display for guests to look at some point. There are a lot of educational displays I'd really like to make that aren't necessarily beneficial to guests in terms of their actual education rating, but would be fun to work with just as from a design standpoint. So the projects I will probably be working on next is redoing the theming on this Congo area, so making all these buildings African themed is what my thoughts were. Building the African Congo rainforest. I've got disease. Someone's got bordetellosis. Is a vet coming? Well, you should. I can already see we're having more baby lemurs. Make sure you're not a male. Okay. The lemurs are a difficult one because their social group is wrong in this game, basically. It says they can only have one male, which isn't true. Lemur social groups, for most social lemurs, particularly ring-tailed lemurs, they are one. They actually have a 1-to-1 ratio of males and females, so it is a bit weird that only one male can be in the group at a time, but, you know, we do. So yes, I want to work with this area mostly for the moment, get this, because then it could at least be my first completed area, which would be really, really awesome. And then next after that, I want to work on the staff area. Make this area look just nicer, just less square and kind of boring looking, especially the back of these lemur enclosures. I know they just kind of have to look like that, but it's a bit messy in places. I mean, things like this are fine, but they could probably do it just with, you know, with a little bit of tidying up. And then when that's done, we can move on to maybe something like completing the garden or adding a new area over here. I was thinking the like big African area with all the African animals could kind of spread out over here. Or we could work on the Asian area. The Asian area is also something I would very much like to work on. I would like to make a little food court, like an Asian themed food court. Have animals like the red panda and the pangolin would be nice as well. Maybe a tiger, maybe a bear of some description. You know, if you guys have any suggestions for what I should do in my zoo. And then obviously tidy this up, because a lot of this was just kind of cobbled together to make this area functional. And, you know, functional is nice, but we also like pretty. We do like pretty as well. And I'm sure there are things we can do to clear it, to maybe clear up this area. I don't really know. It's a very busy area anyway, because it is the entrance and exit, and you can't really have it so you have like, oh, this is the way in, but there is like a different path that leads out of the zoo. If we could do that, that would be fantastic, but we cannot, so. Unfortunately. So I should probably talk to you guys about why I haven't really been updating, at all. I've basically just been super busy. I was sick. And I was sick for a really, really long time. Like, it didn't go away for a month, and I was just really under the weather and not in the mood to record anything. And the wait for Planet Zoo, I kind of didn't play any games, because I was thinking that I just don't have time to play games. And when Planet Zoo comes out, I kind of just wanted to focus on that, because I only have time to play Planet Zoo at the moment. I'm super busy with my masters now. But as part of that, I actually was working with the primate keepers at the zoo that runs my master's course, or joint runs my master's course with the university, I should say. And I spent a few days working with the primate team over a couple of weeks, basically helping with husbandry, but also learning a lot from them about the way that they manage their animals and the such like. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? We should probably get someone to come and look at you guys. Oh, we have one of our female chimps is expecting offspring now, which is awesome. These guys breed pretty well too, which is something we love. I love that they're breeding so good. Because these guys are pretty much my only like big ticket animal at this point in time. I'm pretty sure they're the most popular animal in the zoo. They are the most popular animal in the zoo. So that they attract a lot of attention. And releasing them into the wild is big conservation credit time. Great, cool. So something I did with the primate team as well is I did a lot of work with enrichment. So I devised a lot of enrichment for some of the primates, like the Hanuman's langurs and the squirrel monkeys that they had there. And I put together some enrichment and evaluated for them. And so basically part of my course is that I do practicals like that. And the next practical that I will be doing, and these guys are hungry, you need a vet. And these guys are pretty much always upset because there's so many of them. Usually, as long as the exhibit is clean, they manage. But I think I need to clear them out a bit and get rid of a few, sell a few off. It isn't empty. There is definitely a frog in here. All right, let's see if we can find that frog. There it is, Goliath frog. Just kind of sat amongst the leaf, which is fine. Cool, so the next team I'm actually working with is the reptile team, so I'm kind of trying to gear what I'm doing in the game towards what I'm doing in real life, because then everything is fresh in my mind. Things like how you make the enclosure functional, how you make the enclosure safe, how you enrich those animals, how how you look after the health of those animals, all of that stuff. And you need to get that cleaned, keepers. And we've got some new research for the hippos. Just everything going on at once, all of the time. But that's kind of the update for where I've been and why I'm so busy. And why I don't upload things. I'm really fingers crossed that I'll be able to do something like this for Planet Zoo daily, if not every other day. We'll see how that goes. I'm not going to make any promises on that because it's entirely likely that it turns from, you know, once every other day to once a week or twice a week or something like that. I'll try and do it as frequently as possible, but I don't foresee it being particularly easy for me to actually do that, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Like I said, I'm just having fun playing this game by myself and figuring things out as I go. That's not chimps and Congo don't have the same number of letters, do they? Which is fine because this is gonna make it a bit longer anyway. So let's comps. So let's right quick do a tiny, just a tiny bit of something, just so you're not watching a whole lot of nothing. I am having some lag problems doing so many things at once, which I'm very sorry for. But sometimes you just have to try your very best. My computer isn't necessarily built for doing this many things at once, but you know how it be. Congobus. There we go. Congo. We can keep it as the chimp up there. I don't see any reason why a chimp would be unsuitable for a Congo area sign. Can I please select the letters? Or do I have to I think I have to split them from the group to be able to do that, which is fine. I can deal. But either way, if you guys have any ideas for pretty much anything, even things like animal, like names, that would be awesome. I am perfectly happy to name animals after you, or name animals after your characters, or characters you like, or whatever you so choose. I would like to keep better track of my animals at the moment. I really don't. I've just been so focused on building and building and building and expanding and making everything beautiful and getting everything ready so I could do something like this. But anyway, I'm really sorry that this is kind of boring and haphazard and not a lot going on, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to work together to make this zoo huge and amazing and great, and I can do a big zoo tour, and maybe if it is ever possible to put franchise zoos on the Steam Workshop, you guys will be able to actually visit it yourselves. That would be really cool. I think this was broken as well. There are a bunch of things that were broken. A lot of vandalized stuff around the zoo. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you stick around to see what happens in Wild Kingdom. Maybe next time we'll take a peek at the Eden project. There isn't very much going on other than the gorilla enclosure. It's not even like a restaurant or anything. But we'll see how that goes. And I'll see you again for more next time. Bye-bye.